Hey everybody, and welcome back to Horror Film Lovers Reviews. I'm your host Jonathan Moody, and I took a break. Took like a month break off of doing these horror film lover reviews because just been busy with stuff. And, it was the holidays, and then after that, it's kind of like a dull time to just kind of chill. And I chose to do that and get a couple other things done. But I'm back for more of these, but I'm gonna have John for a couple, I think this month. We're doing two, I think. At least one. This
Yes, and
so
and what's awesome is our first one is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I cannot wait to do this. I think this is awesome that we're talking about this with a cameo by Bruce Campbell. I'm so excited to do this movie with you today.
why do you always get our movies wrong?
Do I not get the correct email?
No, I'm sorry. Did you watch Spider-Man?
And Spider-Man 2.
Oh. No, we're reviewing Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, well, I've seen that, so
Oh,
I,
you've
I
seen
I
that.
can discuss that.
Okay.
Yes, yes, I've seen
So
that.
when was the last time you saw
About 5 minutes ago.
it? You finished it like 5 minutes ago?
No, probably like an hour ago, and then you sent the message saying that you're watching Red Letter Media, and so I went and watched their Evil Dead Rise too,
I
which
liked it.
Jay does get something wrong with Ash vs. Evil Dead. So he says that it was always on the verge of being canceled until it was, and it didn't even get to end with the proper ending. This is incorrect. So I don't like when they get stuff incorrect because uh Bruce Campbell has lied. He told a lie and then he told the truth. The one thing that he talked about was, and I'll make this brief so we can get into Evil Dead Rise, is he said that the reason why the show may not go on is because people are bootlegging it and
Hmm.
they're not paying for the streaming service.
That
That
makes
is a
sense.
lie.
No, but that's a
The
lie.
the the truth was that I saw this in an article. He said that the show will go for 3 years
And that's it.
and it will end. And it did have a proper ending because Bruce Campbell goes into the future and then he's speeds away in his car. That's the ending.
Hmm.
So it does have a proper ending, and
Spoiler
it
alert for
was
anyone who hasn't seen Ash. You know, it's been out a
yeah, yeah. So
while now,
I
but
don't think we have to say it. So yeah, I found that to be every once in a while they get this stuff wrong. So
mm,
but yeah, I watched this is probably my fourth time watching the film. I saw it in the theater, and then I watched it as a bootleg, and then I watched it on streaming, and then I watched it on my well, I didn't
4K.
watch it's the 4K. I don't have 4K, but it does have Blu-ray, so I was able to watch it on Blu-ray.
Nice. But you
The
bought the
only
4K in case one day you get a 4K and then you can have it.
Yes, I'm going to be buying more of these. I'm going to be buying the Rocky collection in 4K because it has the Rocky versus Drago cut on there. So I'm just going to keep buying the ones that I really like and that are cheap. This is only $10, brand new off of Amazon.
Nice.
The one thing that does suck about it, there is literally nothing. This is bone dry.
No,
No
wow.
special features, nothing,
Well, that sucks.
nada. Yeah,
Well, it sucks
it's
even more because I was looking into it, and the director himself, Lee Cronin, has done a bunch of shorts. That's how he got his start. Is he did the shorts, and one of the shorts was called Ghost Train, and sounded interesting. And I tried looking for it on YouTube and couldn't find it. I found his first short film though on YouTube, which was called Through the House, I think. This one is called Through the Night, and I found that, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I did find that, which is nice. But Ghost Train sounded like good, so I wanted to try it. But yeah, what can you do? Um, but
well, and we like doing that. We like watching the shorts of other people and then discussing them with one of their
with the
movies.
movie,
So
yeah.
yeah, we did
But
that
he
with him.
also did a movie that I think we should do for horror film lover reviews, unless we already had that planned, but I don't think we did, was he did the movie A Hole in the Ground, which I have not seen, and it's an Irish movie, and it's the first movie before he made this one.
I own it, but I have not watched it yet, and I own it because of Evil Dead Rise. So
Exactly.
I will go back and watch the
Well, let's do
previous
that. Let's do
films.
a
So
review of that at some point.
sure, I have no idea what it's about. I haven't watched trailers for it or anything. I own it and figured one day I would watch it.
Now, I did send you, I don't know if you saw that article I sent you, but basically it kind of broke down how much that movie cost and how they got the funding for A Hole in the Ground, which I thought was really freaking cool. It was like a review of the movie, but also showed, the insights into the making of it, which cost $2 million. 2 million, I guess. I don't think USD, but whatever Irish money. I don't know what they have in Irish. I don't know if they have pounds or if they have
I have no idea.
something
Well,
else,
we'll say to blooms.
whatever. But they had it cost $2 million in some kind of dollars, and it was supposedly a pretty good movie. And um we've talked about this before. Like, how does one work with Blumhouse, right? Or how does one work with Sam Raimi and the Evil Dead, right? You know what I mean? And there are two routes that I feel that filmmakers go. The first guy that, and they talked about this on Red Letter Media, which I thought was cool. The first guy that did it, Fede, I forgot how you say his name,
Oh
or
yeah, the director of the remake of Evil Dead.
yeah, the Evil Dead, yeah, the remake of Evil Dead. He did a short film and it got whatever, and then this guy did A Hole in the
But his
Ground.
short film was science fiction. I mean,
Right.
they showed
But
it. It was about
it
robots attacking. It was more like a Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow
yeah,
than Evil Dead. And then yeah, then this guy did A Hole in the Ground, and then they saw it and said, "Hey, let's get this guy."
yeah, and I thought that was
So
really interesting because those, what they always say, like, how do you get into those big movies, or how do you get a part of this? And it's usually the big part of it is uh basically doing uh some kind of movie that gets attention, right? You have to make something good that gets you
that's
attention.
yeah. I mean, it's. I wonder if they just kind of come across it because that film Night Swim, which is Blumhouse, it was a 3 minute short that was made like 8 years ago or something, and it's on YouTube. And I don't know who saw it or who gave it to Jason
Didn't
Blum.
but didn't James Wan produce it or something, if I'm correct too?
I'm not sure if his
I
name
think
is
he
attached
did,
to
because
that.
the only reason I say that is because I think he promoted it. So I think he'd only promote it on his Facebook if he actually, was a part of it. Yeah, he produced Night Swim.
Okay, because it's I guess like the before credits thing is what the 3 minute short is. They just remade it more or less, or took stuff from the short and kind of sprinkled it throughout the movie. But I have not seen one good review on this. Like everybody is saying how horrible Night Swim is, that it's a total joke of a movie. But of course, when you make a movie for only a few million, you rake in those rewards of 25 million, so that
So even if the movie's bad, it still made a lot of money, you
yeah,
know?
because they reported they're doing a sequel, and I really don't think Jason Blum cares if it's gets good reviews or not. If he gives the film 5 million because it's all based around a swimming pool, and he makes 25 million or 30 million, I don't think he cares.
Yeah, then you got
So
25 to $30 million profit, or whatever,
yeah, so it's that's almost yeah, kind of it almost seems like don't make a feature these days. Make a short, make like a 6 minute short,
It's so
and then
funny.
just get it out there.
It's so funny. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, but it has to be a really good short. It has to be something that kind of gets somebody's attention. Like, the idea has to be unique enough that it could be a feature, and B, or it could lead you to make to directing something else, like the guy who the guys who did uh let's see, like, well, as far as shorts go, I don't really know as many, but but we've seen this on before. We've reviewed films where the directors did a short film, and then they work with James Wan because James Wan went to a festival or something, saw that short film, and it won awards, and then he goes, make this into a movie, or direct my like next Annabelle movie because you actually know how to do, like you know how to do something. You have to show people that you're talented first. I mean, anyone can go out and make a short film, but can anyone make a short film that actually interests people? That's the question.
Well, yeah, you have to, maybe do a one location. You have to have one interesting character. You have to have, some sort of catch in it.
Hmm.
And we saw with who was it? Who we kind of called him James Wan's protege, the one guy who did La Llorona, and his short, the one with the realtor at the house,
Yeah, it was really good.
is yeah, it was good. I think it was like 6 minutes. And the one thing that I was really interested in, and was so happy to see that it ended up in La Llorona, was the launching. That people weren't thrown; they were launched.
Hmm.
And he did that same thing in the movie. So if I'm a film producer and I'm seeing this YouTube or festival and I'm seeing this person being launched that I've never seen before,
Hmm.
that guy, that guy, get that guy. I want him to direct, my next movie
Exactly.
because that stands out.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I agree. And so the guy that directed this movie, Evil Dead Rise, I don't know, I haven't seen Holding the Ground. We need to watch that at some point and review it, like we said, because we need to, kind of see if there's anything that he did with that one or did with his we could watch his short too as well and see if there's anything that you see in common, with this movie. The stuff I really liked with it that I thought was original and unique was all the milk, I guess, that was coming out of the people and they were like throwing up. And just like all this white stuff. It might have been just bile, but it looked like milk to me because it was just coming out of their mouths whenever they were like the the demon was just you know what I'm
In
talking?
Evil Dead Rise,
Yeah.
milk.
Yeah, I mean it
Was
was
it?
white stuff that was coming out. I don't know
I
if it
don't
was milk.
remember any white stuff. I know
Yeah.
the young girl, the middle, the sister, she was puking up like bugs. I
No,
remember
no,
that.
there's one I think that the mom I think was the one who threw up all the bile and stuff. I don't know, whatever it was. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
I don't
I'd
remember.
have
I
to
mean, I
re
know that there's a lot of stuff coming out of their mouths, but I don't
yeah.
remember that in particular.
But yeah, stuff like that. I would love to see if, well, I mean, I guess this is the demon movie. So kind of give like a brief synopsis before we just get right into it. Basically it starts off with these three people at a cabin in the woods, of course, or whatever, at a lake. It was a lake cabin, kind of thing. And we start out with like the drone, but we think it's the monster, it's the demon or whatever. Maybe it is a little bit, but it's following this drone,
No,
you
I think
know.
it's just a drone.
You
Yeah,
just think
but
it's
we're
a drone, it's
supposed to
just a
think it's the Evil Dead.
so it was just supposed to like fool us
It's
because
it's
we're
a fake out. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So we see it and it almost takes off her head, she says, because it flies right over her head. And then she's talking to the guy. Guy's a complete douchebag. Like,
Well,
you
you got to
know,
get more context. So they're up in the woods in like in an A-frame cabin, and something, and there's a girl on a dock. It's like a T, and she's reading a book, and obviously wants to be left alone. And then the drone goes past her. We think it's the Evil Dead, and it ends up being a drone. And this douchebag guy comes up, and he's got like a beer strapped to him, and she just doesn't want anything to do with him because he's a douche.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess he's the boyfriend of the girl that's inside the cabin, and she's, sick with something, and as he says, he gave her Klonopin to like knock her ass out, I guess, or whatever, and whatever ease her way into sleeping. And so the other girl's sick of this guy and wants to just get away, so she goes up to the cabin to see her friend. And did you know like the clock that they have in the cabin is actually the clock that one of the girls, the Deadites and Evil Dead drew, the original Evil Dead drew. So she drew a clock
No.
and they actually put the clock in there. So that was a little Easter egg. I don't know if
Oh,
they put
okay.
that on their Easter egg thing, but that's something they did on purpose because I mean a lot of this was nods to the original Evil Dead. I mean, it was an Evil Dead movie. You know what I mean? Like this wasn't Rob Zombie's Halloween where it just kind of makes it a little bit like Halloween, or whatever, but he does his own fucking thing. This was very much an Evil Dead movie, to me. Um, so
Yeah,
anyway,
it's a standalone, just like the remake was. I mean,
yeah,
it's Bruce Campbell at the end saying groovy does not make it connect to the other movies.
no. I've actually never finished the first Evil, like the remake to Evil Dead. I not that I didn't watch
Oh,
it, I
really?
just and not that I stopped it. Like I was actually really enjoying it. But what happened was it got so late and I realized I had to bring a friend home after, so we couldn't finish watching it, right? And she had already seen it, but I hadn't. And so instead of coming back home and just watching it, again, I just said, "Oh, I'll watch it like tomorrow." And tomorrow never came. I just came and went. I still haven't. I need to rewatch it at some point. Maybe one day we'll do another review of that, one or whatever. But
Yeah, I really like the remake, so I'm
I
I'm a big
I, I
fan
was
of
I
both
was
of these.
loving it, but I just didn't get a chance to finish it. I was like halfway through. I didn't even get. I don't think I even got to the good stuff, yet. But anyway, so the one girl's on the bed, kind of. I kind of felt bad for her. She was sleeping, but she didn't have the covers on. So it's like
Yeah, just on top of
just on top of the
the
covers.
bed. The friend
Yeah,
comes in and wants to borrow the car to get away from the annoying guy, and she doesn't respond, so she just sits down to read, which is apparently a book that all young women read, Wuthering Heights. I've seen it in many movies where the woman is reading Wuthering Heights. So
well, it was a cool way to do it because the demon knows Wuthering Heights apparently by heart. And is
big fan of the book.
yeah, apparently.
That's the first edition.
Yeah, and they start the demon starts saying the stuff that she's reading. And she closes the book because she kind of freaked out and everything and tells her friend to stop that. And the friend just continues to read the book, or whatever, because it's like the way they did it was really kind of creepy. Like that was a really good, like, sort of opening with the demon. Um, so I said this was going to be brief. Apparently, we're going right into the whole thing. So I was going to give like a, quick
Well, I
outline,
mean,
but
well, let me try then. So brief. So the girl is reading. She falls off the bed.
no, no,
She's
let's
re
go into the whole thing.
Are
Don't
you
like
sure?
cliff notes it. Fuck it. Let's talk about it. And then we can bring up things when we
Well,
talk about it.
are you going to tell the whole story, or are we going to talk about all you're telling the whole story?
Yeah, we're gonna talk while we tell the whole story. All right, let's do that. I like that idea. You know,
Well, okay. Well, why don't we tell what happens at the beginning, the pre-credit stuff, and then we can discuss the pre-credit stuff, and then move on to the rest. You want to do it that way?
pre-credit stuff. Like, was
Yeah,
there
the stuff
stuff be
with them in the credits. It's pre-credits.
was this pre-credits? Are you talking about all this?
Yeah, because
Oh,
she's
okay.
then
I was
rises
like,
from
was
the
there? I
lake,
was
and it
like, no,
says
I was
Evil
trying.
Dead.
Right, I was trying to say I thought there was something before that, and I was like, wait, no, there's nothing. As far as I
No.
remember, there's nothing before that. Yes. So, but we pretty much did that. We didn't. We've already so far gotten into it. So yeah, she reads the book, she slams the book down. The girl freaks out, you know, or whatever. And she kind of is on the bed, but she's not facing her, which I thought was a really creepy kind of look in it, where she's not even looking at her, but she's kind of sitting up on the bed. Like the original Deadites. Like she looks kind of like, like kind of you would imagine them. And she then eventually like, falls on the ground, I think, and ends up like laying down on the ground. And the girl comes up there and
Yeah,
sees
like she's passed out.
like she's passed out. She comes to grab her and see if she's okay, or comes to check on her and see if she's okay. And she I guess she grabs her after that, right? Like you go a little bit.
Well, the friend leans over her to make sure that she's okay, and while she's kind of doing this on her, the friend that we think is passed out, the her eye opens,
Hmm.
and then there's a couple fake outs, and then she grabs the top of her head, and she comments because the friend that's annoyed with the boyfriend calls him a meat bag, like a brainless meat bag. And so the girl who's possessed says, "Well, how do you feel about being like a brainless meat bag?" Something like that, and grabs her scalp and rips her scalp off. So she scalps her
Meathead,
and
meathead, meathead.
meathead, yeah. And she screams. The That cuts to the guy on the dock. He's pissing into the water. Now I want him dead. And uh and the drone is kind of floating there. The girl who was scalped comes up. She's asking for help. He kind of freaks out when he turns around and freaks out and sees her. Then the possessed girlfriend comes up and the drone is still flying. She walks over to the drone and takes the drone and like tries to cut her. And the boyfriend's like freaking out and she falls into the water. He dives in after her. He kind of he's trying to get out of the water, but she pulls him down, I guess like rips off this part of his body and throws it up on the dock. The girl who was scalped is freaking out, and then the friend who is possessed rises out of the water, very
Rises.
Christ-like. And
It's
yes, well, Evil Dead rise. So she rise out of the water,
well,
and then it
why
says Evil
wasn't it
Dead.
rises?
Because the apartment could be looked at as a high rise, maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
Evil
I
Dead rise.
guess I get an Evil Dead high rise. I don't know. Like,
And then
I
that goes to credits
yep. And then it goes
and
to
with very
credits.
loud music.
Yep. Who
And
did
then
the
that
music?
cuts to the I love the music to this. I also love the music to the remake. The person who does the music for the remake has worked with that director and producer on several other movies, like Don't Breathe and some other stuff too. His music is
Okay, yeah, he
great.
also did a Hole in the Ground, you know. So he did the composer of the Hole in the Ground did this and wow, so actually it's not the same it's not the same guy as the remake. I thought you were saying he was the same composer as the remake. The
No, no, no. I'm saying I also love the music in the
Oh,
remake.
okay. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't the same guy as the remake, but um, that
It's similar. With the remake and this one, tonally, music wise, all that stuff is similar. So you can. That's why I'm hoping they make at least a third because I want this to be not a trilogy, but I just want the films to kind of feel the same, kind of like how the original Evil Dead trilogy is to these, if they were to make three. So
right.
now we should keep our fingers crossed that David Gordon Green comes on board and decides to make an Evil Dead trilogy so he can really fuck up the first one and then decide
No.
not to make the other two.
No, 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 no. 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 Don't even put that in the air, man. It's messed up. Because Evil Dead so far has been a great like series, There hasn't been a terrible Evil Dead. Like you could say there's been a bunch of terrible Halloweens. You can't say there's a terrible Evil Dead, you know. So
No,
now you can
I
say
don't
there's
think so.
now you can say there's at least two bad Exorcists, The other one a lot of people complain about Exorcist 2, The Heretic, which
Well, in comparison to Exorcist Believer, I would say that there's only one.
oh that's right. Also there's the Dominion and whatnot and
Yeah,
which
there's Exorcist, Exorcist 2, The Heretic, Exorcist 3, and then there's Exorcist the beginning, then there's Dominion, and then this one. And
I
then
don't
there's the
know if the
Exorcist
I
TV
don't
show.
know. Yeah, there's Exorcist TV show. But anyway, but like I'm saying, like Evil Dead really hasn't had a bad movie, Like even if you're not a big fan of like Army of Darkness because it's just too silly, you can't say that's a bad movie. Like they did a great job, like, making that as silly and goofy and fun as possible, you know? But yeah, I think all did you know what the original Army of Darkness title was?
Tell me.
The Medieval Dead.
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'm so glad they changed it. It would have been too cheesy sound, you know? Like but it sort of was perfect for the movie because that's what it was, you know?
Well,
But
all of us were into those films, and the poster says Army of Darkness, but when you watch the movie, the smoke kind of swirls around, and at first it just says Bruce Campbell, and then it goes verse Army of Darkness.
yeah.
And I remember us cheering in the theater, like, did that just say Bruce Campbell? That just said Bruce Campbell verse. And we were very excited about that. We just thought that was just because Sam was the man at the time. So
Yeah. In my opinion, he's still the man. I know people don't like them working with Marvel and doing Doctor Strange, but I think he's still doing pretty good stuff.
well, he was the director for hire on that one.
Yeah. Can't blame him. He did as good of a job as he could. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Um,
I don't
I
think anybody else. I don't think it would have looked any different.
yeah.
I
Um,
think that yeah, I don't think anybody would have
the only
done
difference
anything.
would that they wouldn't have had Bruce Campbell as that silly, goofy character in it. That's it. Like that's his contribution to the movie, which is fine. The rest of it is, I mean, at one point it does kind of go into Evil Dead territory. Um, with all the demons and stuff, like,
Well, we heard that it was a straight out horror movie, and it wasn't. I
no, it was
mean,
a Marvel
it's
movie, but with
yeah.
horror
So that's
elements.
why I mean, on top of many other things of why I thought the film sucked, but
I
that it
know.
wasn't a Doctor Strange movie, and that Doctor Strange was an idiot, and that he would never allow this type of thing to happen, and that it's not a Sam Raimi movie, because any director could have done what he did, So it's yeah.
Anyway, point being that so yeah, Sam Raimi really, I mean, I always enjoy whenever Sam Raimi pops up. Yeah, I even own The Great and Powerful Oz or whatever, movie
I
that
like
he
that
did.
film.
I watched it once or watched some of it once and never finished it, and then I bought it for like $3 at Dollar General. So I was like, "Ooh, that's not good when it's $3 at Dollar General." But it had been out for a while enough where I get it. Like, they just want to sell the fucking thing. And so I bought it, but I'll probably definitely check it out again. I like James Franco, so like whatever.
I think that you could do, you could watch, you know, yeah, Great and Powerful Oz, and you could watch Wizard of Oz, and then Return to Oz, and you'd have a good little trilogy
Trilogy.
there.
Nice.
Yeah, good
Um,
little marathon.
yeah, well, there you go. And people should do that. So now after the credits, we get to meet our main girl. What was her name? Beth. Beth.
Are you watching where you're putting your phone? You're putting it right on her shoulder.
Am I putting? Oh, nice. What a-
She's holding your phone for you.
All right, nice. Well, thank you.
Hold my phone.
Hold my phone. That's why she's smiling. She's like,
Yeah, she
I'm
likes
gonna,
your phone.
yeah, I'm gonna steal that in a second.
It's a
Uh,
nice phone. I'm gonna take that. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, I know some people who don't like this because they feel that it is a woke movie,
What?
and yeah, that
Well, wait a minute, wait a minute. Just because it has girls fighting, in it, is that it?
well, the middle daughter, is doing her which Red Letter Media pointed out, and I thought it was weird while watching it. Is yeah, she's going to a Labor Day protest, which is weird, but yet she has a sign that says "Make the Earth Cool," and it's like, okay, all right, that's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, I guess because she's all kind of into saving the Earth and all that, and the son. and I looked this up again and I'm confused. The son is either a girl being a boy or a boy being a boy that wants to be a girl. So they're
The
the
character
actors
or
the actor is trans. He or she has been in a bunch of stuff, including things where he or she has played a transgender person going through like the change that you
okay.
would do. So I don't know if technically this if the entire cast then is female, or maybe it's
I
all
mean,
female but he's a
I'm
transgender. I always get confused. A
the
transgender man.
the
The
actor identifies as a man. So I guess
so
it's
he would be a woman.
no, he would be a man.
He identifies as a man,
He identifies as a man. So if you, I mean, if you go by how
but he is
people are,
transgender.
I don't know. It doesn't say anything on his bio about that. That's never, um, yeah, that's not even brought up in his bio.
Because I
Which,
because I was watching the film going, I could see where he might be female from the like his actions and face and stuff, but then I'm like, but I don't know. A lot of guys these days are kind of effeminate, you know? Not that that really matters at all. I just kind of find it interesting if it's an all-female cast and it's a woman playing a guy.
all right. So Morgan Davies, that's his name, who has been acting since he was a child, spoke to Vogue Australia in 2021 about coming out as trans and returning to the acting industry at his true self. At 13, I came out as trans to my mom and friends. Uh, God dang, why do you have to accept everything these days? So wow, I just totally lost it because um so yeah, apparently he's a transgender male. I don't know if he doesn't he identifies on IMDb, it says he. So let me see if they have his pronouns on there. You know how they do that now? They actually have every
I
if
know they do that on Twitter, but
they do that
or
on
Twitter
IMDb as
X.
well. You can put down your pronouns. But they don't. So I'm not, or he doesn't. I don't know if that's what he identifies as or not, but that's what it says on his and he hasn't changed his name. I mean, Morgan is a male and female name. And every character he's played, okay, okay. So in 2019, he was known as Morgana Davies. Morgana. So now he's Morgan Davies. So he was he was, I guess, identifying as a female then, and now he identifies as a male.
Okay. All right. So I
So
see that there is confusion there.
yeah,
Okay.
and I can get it. I can get it because if you
I
look
don't.
at him, he does have female, maybe feminine attributes. So you might think, but if he identifies as a male, then he is a male actor. Yeah. And
You should identify as one thing. I mean, I don't think you should flip back and forth out
I
of
don't think he was back and
convenience.
forth. I think he was
So,
originally a female and has now identified as a male. So it went from 2019 to 2021.
so
2021, he came out
originally
as
he was
trans.
female. Now
Yes,
he's male. Is that what
exactly.
you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you said he was male, then female, then male.
No, no, no. He
That's what I was
was,
saying. There's confusion
yeah,
there.
no,
So,
no, no, no.
okay.
He was, okay. Sorry about that.
So
No.
technically, it's an all-female cast.
I mean, if he, That's going into some sketchy stuff that I'm not even going to touch on because I can't because if you want to if definitely I want to support the LGBTQ community, and I want to as the trans community especially, and if they want to identify as a male, then technically it's a female cast with a male in it, you know. And there's other males, there's two other guys in it, you
Well,
know.
yeah, I'm thinking of just like the main
The
cast.
main cast.
So because
But
you,
yeah,
yeah, you
he's I mean, it's a male. Like to me, if you want to say it's not, that's up to you. But I ain't a part of that. I'm like, I've got my own thing, and I literally think
no,
it's
that's
a
fine.
cast.
As long as people don't hurt each other, then I don't care. So
Mm.
it's but it's and it's not made at all a big deal in this, which is fine by me.
And that's
So
another thing. That's
in
why
fact, I thought he was like born a man. See now we're getting into that area again. But when I watched it, I thought that the son was a son,
right.
and then a friend pointed out, oh no, he's transgender, and I'm like, no, that's the son's a son, the son's a boy, and he's no that he's transgender, and I'm just like, no, and it's no, he was because I look at it as what you start as, and then if you change, then that's what you are now.
Yeah. So he
But
was a female, and then he changed to a male.
yeah, so and so that's how I'm looking at it. And so if somebody wants to be, if he wants to be known as a male but was born a female, then that's fine. Whatever you want, you're male, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I was I thought that he was born as a male, basically born with a penis, has a penis,
Nope.
and that's where my friend was going, no, and it's like, that's what you're wrong. And then I looked it up and went, oh, you're right.
Hmm. So yeah.
So I just found that interesting within the cast. So because they did that a long time ago with Doctor Who. One of Doctor Who's companions was trans, and you would never know.
Yeah.
It was only when the person, and we're talking long time ago with Doctor
Right.
Who, and you would never know until the person in an interview, until she in an interview said, "Oh no, I'm transgender," and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh fuck, okay, all right, okay."
I
So,
mean, um, and
but
there's a
it,
lot of people I
yeah,
know that are transgender, and you would never know that they were transgender because sometimes they don't just talk about it, you know. Most people in life just don't just talk about that stuff, you know, unless it's part of the movie or whatever, you know. And that drives me crazy. And this movie, as you said, did not have any sort of agenda like that. So when people call this a
no,
woke movie because it has a transgender character in it and stuff,
well,
that pisses
and
me off.
the daughter, the middle daughter, is an activist, and she has like the
Yeah,
feminist, like feminism. I think is like on a poster. Um,
but
I didn't take it as that. I took it as that's just who she is. That she's that age, and she's going to protest
mhm.
climate control or something. She's going to go. I didn't take it as political or
And
whatever.
yeah,
I mean, I guess I mean if she was had a poster that said Trump won 2016, would that be any better or worse? Or, the election was stolen, without
yeah.
bringing his name into it. So I didn't think anything of it actually
It
until it was
wasn't, yeah, it definitely didn't have any. I mean, if the only political thing was the activist thing, and that just so small of a thing, you know, like she got turned down from, having to do that, you know, because she didn't, I think she didn't do her homework or something, you know, or whatever. And all I saw in that scene was that this is just an update on where we are in life right now. There are kids who feel like they have to protest or whatever for whatever reason, and that's it, you know, and everything.
yeah, it's just something to introduce her by. I mean, the son is, I guess, wants to be like a DJ, or he's practicing to be like a DJ,
Yeah, and he was
and
doing pretty
then
good to me. It sounded. I don't know much about DJing, but I liked what
He didn't do it.
he was spitting.
I just know Polly from Jersey Shore. That's all I know.
Do
Because he wanted
you?
to be it.
Did you
No, I
ever
don't.
did you
I
ever
did.
know DJ Pauly
Well,
Pauly
not
D?
personally, but I did follow him through the whole Jersey Shore
You actually watched Jersey
story.
Shore? Have you
I
been
watched it from episode one on, and then I even watched some of the spin-offs.
have you seen the new stuff like the Jersey Shore
No,
family
no,
ones? Family
no, I haven't
reunion?
watched it. No.
I don't know.
What?
Family vacation, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched any of that stuff. So no, it was a long time ago, and I thought it was kind of fun. But and then you have the youngest daughter who's into cutting heads off and stuffing them on broom handles and giving
Well,
them weird
and that sort of was
names.
foreshadowing for later, so it was sort of set up
Well, there's a
like
lot of foreshadowing. There's the scissors that the little daughter uses to cut the head off of the doll. She puts them under the bed. I mean, there's a lot of
yeah.
foreshadowing of stuff
'Cause
in coming up. So
I thought that was kind of
uh
cool.
two things that I was very disappointed in this with. One, the Oldsmobile was not in it,
Yep.
and they're in a parking garage, and it could have just been sitting there.
It could have they said so the director had a reason, had a thing for that. They said that the let me see the exact thing, quote, because he actually um so the
I know what replaced the Oldsmobile,
okay, what was
Oldsmobile.
it? So I'm
The
trying to look.
chainsaw.
The
The
chainsaw
chainsaw
was
is
the
the
same color.
exact same color as, yeah.
Yeah.
That is not a substitute.
It's
Not
not a
at all.
substitute,
That's like
especially
saying
since
a cow and a plane are the same thing.
well,
It's not.
it's not a substitute mainly because there's always gonna be a chainsaw in an Evil Dead movie. Like that's just a running
Yeah, name
thing,
one
you know?
Evil Dead movie that doesn't have a chainsaw in it. So
Right. And it's not
you
sub
can't say
yeah.
something that's always there.
You're right.
Y-
And I think I don't know why they didn't do it. Like I don't have a clue why, as you said, it could have just been sitting in the garage or whatever. I have a feeling it was literally a director's choice. I think he said, I don't want
Oh
that in
yeah,
my movie, because I don't want it to be a running gag that people,
it's the one connecting thing, or the necklace.
Well,
That's also in the remake of Evil Dead, is the necklace that Bruce gives his girlfriend. Maybe have that. Maybe like you could have just to have that one thing in there. That's, I mean, a chainsaw is not a connection to me.
yeah,
It's in every movie, but just have that one. And I know we got the Bruce Campbell groovy at the end of the first film, which I thought was stupid, but this had, and I don't know if you looked it up or not, but
yeah, I
Bruce
did.
Campbell's voice is on the album, is on the
He's just the
record.
one who says, it's called the Book of the Dead for a reason or whatever.
Yeah, which I guess is fine. I mean, at least his voice is in
I
there
just don't know
somewhere.
why they didn't have his voice be the one being the teller of the, you know,
Yeah, see, that was
that would have
the
been cool.
priest.
Yeah, you would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like, why not? I mean, I mean, it's not like it would cost too much. I mean, Bruce
Well,
was a producer,
it's
so
always his freaking voice that's the demons free anyways. I
yeah,
mean, so it's yeah, so there were a couple things in there that I thought was a letdown. And but to kind of get back to the characters as we drifted from the story, so you have the family that's living in the rundown, really cool looking, dilapidated
high
building.
rise.
Yeah, the high rise. And there are a few people left in there. They're going to demolish the place in a month, which I thought was weird that they barely started packing. But I think boxes would be everywhere.
Yeah.
But because these places don't fool around.
Well,
If
especially
they're
they were
gonna,
planning to move like that day, like or whatever. Like they were gonna before that earthquake happened, they were going to move. Like,
well, she tells her really, 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 really hot sister, who's pregnant, who came off of a tour because she's a as the our main character calls her, a groupie, that she's a guitar technician, and she ends up at the house or at the apartment. And yeah, the our main woman who gets possessed, I'm blanking on all their names, mom, she says, "Yeah, you can sleep on the sofa tonight, but tomorrow, like, I got to move and pack." And it's like, move? There's nothing
Yeah,
packed.
I
You have
didn't
like
think it's
you're
kind of
working on
weird.
one box.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless you're planning, I mean, I plan on moving next year. My lease is coming up, and I'm already starting to collect boxes to pack stuff
Well,
in.
you got a lot of things, like you got a lot of like movies and other stuff that you have to
But
pack
she's
that.
got four people living in that place, you
Yeah,
know.
so
So there's the
but it
mom
didn't look like
stuff,
they had a lot of stuff. I mean, it looked
the
pretty
DJ
empty.
stuff.
The
That stuff was
DJ stuff,
pretty
yeah.
extensive, yeah. And
And he was already had that out and just playing with it and stuff. So, I
yeah,
mean,
so I'm not really sure if a lot of that gels, but yeah, the apartment's going to get torn down, and if they got that wrecking ball set up for Tuesday the 15th, you know that thing's going to be going through the wall on Tuesday the 15th. So, and yeah, the sister shows up, I guess, kind of unannounced, and there is now. First of all, these are not LA people. These are not, as we know from Red Letter Media, this was not shot in LA. It was New Zealand, but these are
mhm,
not LA people, because if you live in LA, you're used to earthquakes. They just happen. Some are bigger, some are smaller. They just happen. So first, the little girl, she's sent out so the two sisters can talk. The mom and the sister can talk.
right.
So they're sent out to get pizza, which, by the way, is Henrietta's Pizza.
Yep.
And
From
so,
Evil Dead 2.
so yeah. And so the little girl drops the large sodas.
Hmm.
Very un-LA of you. It's an earthquake. Get used to it. You should be able to, kind of
Balance
maneuver
everything.
those. And then the middle sister drops three large pizzas on the ground and ruins them.
Hmm.
No, once again, very un-LA of you.
I was
That's
like
not.
actually thinking like save the pizza, man. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what? All the pizza's ruined. But they, after this earthquake, they find the hole. The kids find a hole in the parking garage. The son goes into it. It's an old bank vault, and he finds there's like he finds like old coins and stuff too. But he finds the Book of the Dead, and then he finds these like records, these
Like
old
vinyl, yeah,
records,
vinyl
yeah, from
records.
like 1923. And he takes them back upstairs, and everybody's concerned about the earthquake. And then we have our dialogue between everybody. And then the son goes into the room, and he's looking at the book with the older sister. She's like, get rid of it, this thing is evil. And
And it cuts him.
yeah, it cuts, which I think was the intention of the book, is
Yeah,
with all the teeth.
yeah.
And it is mentioned that there's three books. So the first, so not including the original movies, because I don't think there's any connection to them at all. Um, this would be book two. So Evil Dead is book one, which has all the barbed wire wrapped around it.
Hmm.
And that's, I think, the guy cuts his finger on the barbed wire, and that's how the blood gets on the book. And in this one, it's the teeth that are like that are holding the book together. And then once the blood hits the book opens. And
Yeah,
I
and it
think there
wasn't
is,
called the Necronomicon. There's something
they
else.
never say that. I think at one time they say Book of the Dead, but it's two words, but they never say
Let
necro.
me see what it's called. What's the book called in Evil Dead Rise? But it had a specific name. I forgot to write it down when I was
Yeah.
watching it, which I should have done.
And so while
It
you're
was
looking,
called Nate Naturom de Monto, also
yeah.
known as the Book of the Dead.
So
Sorry.
yeah. So it's they're looking through that, and they see all these really horrible drawings, which does go back to the remake, because those drawings. In fact, the very first drawing they see is a woman who's like handcuffed like this up against a post, and she's set on fire. And that's the beginning of Evil Dead, of the remake.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a direct reference or not, but that's what happens to her. And then the daughter's really uneasy with the book. The son is fascinated by it. He and now the family is just going through their routine stuff. Like, she's the older daughter's working on her sign. The younger daughter's doing something. I think the groupie sister is in the bathroom. Oh,
Keeps
I think
call they call her that, but it doesn't sound like I don't know. She doesn't sound like.
she's not no, she's not a groupie. It's just to get under her skin, that the older sister does. Probably because she's jealous that she gets to travel and stuff like that. Because she says that she's a guitar technician.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, that sister, I'm just keep calling her groupie sister. Groupie sister is with the youngest daughter, she's gonna take a bath. And then the son, yeah, the mom is going to go do laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I might be missing something in there. And then the son um starts playing the records. He's
Yep.
listening and listening, and then the priest does the chant, and that awakens the evil dead, and it pops up and does its stuff and goes into the apartment and hits the mom with the laundry inside the elevator, and chaos ensues inside the elevator. We get a nicer version of
The tree
Evil
rape
Dead 2
scene.
with the fights. Yeah. It's more of a it's not an elevator rape, it's more of a just an elevator assault, I guess.
Yep.
Um
I guess that would be more of like what people would want these days because the R word is a very big trigger. So anything with that is a very big trigger for people. So they want everybody to probably want to watch this movie. And so a lot of movies aren't gonna have sexual assault in their films and stuff like that because it turns viewers off, you know. It's a horror film, so granted, it like I wouldn't be surprised if other movies do that. You know what I mean? Like that's a horror thing. I spit on your grave and Last House on the
I was
Left.
about to say there's like five of
Yeah,
those.
there's a million of these movies. What I'm saying is like nowadays, especially like I had a friend who we were listening to a song and the person just said the word, the R word, and she freaked out. And I was like, saying that was a huge trigger for her. She could not hear that word. I was like, whoa,
One of
what?
Nirvana's most favorites or most famous songs has that word in it.
I know, but it's just a
So
thing. So I don't know. I think
get over it.
interesting. I saw that scene with the inside the uh inside the elevator. I thought it was gonna go further than it did, and it did not.
Well,
So,
I mean, it's missing a couple things, like the cables aren't ripping her clothes off,
mm-hmm,
and one cable isn't shooting up between her legs.
mm-hmm.
So it's more of beating her up,
It's more
maybe.
like a PG-13 style thing because it's not very bloody and it's not very nasty. I mean, the movie itself is very, it's gory, but that scene wasn't as gory as it could have been, I think, in my opinion. They could have gone
Yeah.
a little more, but I think they were a little more cautious, which not a bad thing. It's just, I think I noticed that when I was watching it. Um, So yeah, so she does that, so that happens to her and she comes back evil.
Oh, Ellie is her name, is the mom's
Ellie,
name. Ellie.
which they just call Elle, I guess, or at least the Beth, the groupie sister does, calls her
Yeah,
Elle.
Beth and Elle. Yeah, yeah.
And so Elle comes back in and starts making him eggs on the stove. I thought, whoa, what the fuck is going? I mean, we all knew she was possessed, and everything, but they're all like looking there going, Mom, are you okay?
Well, eggs have the symbolism of life. So it's that was like a very big deal in Angel Heart.
Oh, we missed a
Was that
couple of things though, or I missed a couple of things. So they find her dead, right? At one point. Remember they find her dead and they bring her to the guy? Is that before she
well,
met?
that's no, that's she's doing the no, she's doing all the weird stuff. And then she she dies because she kills the
No. And see, I'm getting very confused. I'm gonna
hold
look
on,
on Wikipedia because
I'm looking at that right now. So the oh, this actually isn't even that long.
oh, it's not
So
it's not
so
like
just
that.
Okay,
Typical.
so it's no, it's actually pretty short. So after the stuff that happens at the cabin, and then it says 1 day earlier, upset at learning that she is pregnant, guitar technician Beth visits her sister Ellie, a tattooed artist and single mother with uh, two teenagers, Danny and Bridget and Cassie, in their home, a condemned Los Angeles apartment complex. The building is shaken by an earthquake while the kids are in the basement parking lot uncovering a concealed chamber. That's the bank vault. Danny discovers it, discovering religious artifacts. Yeah, there's like a big Jesus figure that almost kills him. Three phonograph records from 1923 and a strange looking book that he takes to his room, believing he could sell it to help his mom get money.
I
The
don't remember that
initial
part though. I don't remember him saying that, but
he says it to his sister. He goes, do you think that this is worth money?
I
And the sister is
don't
just creeped
remember
out
that.
by
But
the book. Yeah, and he's like, I just want to help mom. Um, let's see, the book up to his room. The initial record details rejected rejected efforts by the initial record the initial record details rejected efforts by a priest to research the book. So Book of the Dead revealed to be one of the three volumes of the however you said it before. The subse see the record reveals the priest committed his or continued his research in secret and recites the incarnation that summons the demonic entities known as deadites. Uh,
this says the building's power fails, and Ellie is possessed by an unseen force, which we got to, right? She returns
yeah.
to the apartment in a trance, menacingly threatens her family, and dies after pleading with Beth to protect her children. You know, so yeah, but that was a cool scene right there. Like that part right there with her making eggs, and then later she's in the bathroom and she's in the whatever, she's kind of floating up or whatever, and then she falls
Well,
down
they
into.
yeah, they say that she's burning up, so they throw her in the like the cold water, and she's freaking out, and that's yeah when she launches herself up and turns herself up on the ceiling,
Hmm. And
and she
then
does that really loud scream that freaks everybody out, and
mhm.
then she drops into the tub, and then she gets her hands
And then
on the
they're like,
sides.
they ask her about mommy, and then she has the best line in the movie, or one of the best lines in the movie, which is mommy's with the maggots now. And I
Yeah,
thought that was so, I was like, damn, that's hardcore shit to, she says a couple hardcore shit, like her character, yeah,
there's
that
some good
demon.
lines in
Yeah.
it. It's yeah to kind of go back. So yeah, Beth and Ellie's neighbors help lay her to rest in the bedroom and search for a way out because that's what they talk about taking the fire escape. They find that the staircase has collapsed, which is this film's version of the bridge. The elevator is damaged and they are unable to access the fire escape before revives and attacks the family, wounding Beth and Bridget. Beth gets that nasty butcher knife through the hand.
Hmm.
Um, and this Beth and the children lock Ellie outside the apartment after she pursues and massacres the neighbors, which I thought was brilliant. I love how that entire scene is basically looking through the peephole from the
Yep.
inside of the apartment, and how everything is just done from side to side.
Right. She walks over. You can hear her killing people and then throwing them, whatever, like it's kind of cool. It was a neat little visual gag.
Yeah, it was a good idea. So,
I love
uh,
and it was fun to see the neighbor with the shotgun basically coming in and attacking her. She's just like coming after him and killing him, or whatever. I thought that was cool.
oh yeah, I liked how she also killed a kid.
Yeah. Oh,
That's rare these days. You don't see that.
so that's another thing that I was shocked about, was how much children stuff was in this movie. Like you wouldn't expect like the girl Cassie, the little girl, to be like such a almost a final girl in the movie, in itself. Like I mean, she does survive, but like she wasn't the final girl because the sister survived too. The or whatever the aunt survived. Not the sister of her, but the aunt, her aunt survived. But
Ant groupie.
yeah, the groupie aunt. That sounds weird. Um, but yeah, so it was interesting. I like that.
Yeah, that's a great scene. I love how they go about everything. And then it says Danny confesses to Beth about recovering the, I'm just going to say, Book of the Dead, and Ellie tricks Cassie into unlocking the door before attacking her. Dumb kid. While
Uh,
Danny and Beth are distracted, rescuing Cassie and locking Ellie out, Bridget then becomes possessed because of her wound that Ellie gave her with the it's like a tattoo needle that she
yeah,
misses, yeah, screws up her skin with. Bridget attacks Beth before turning on Danny and Cassie, who inadvertently impales her through the head with the broken broom handle, which is the doll head is on that. That's what Cassie was making
playing,
at the
yeah.
beginning. Yeah, I forget. She gives it a name, and I forget the name. Um, Beth listens to the third record to understand how to exorcise the Deadites, then learns the priest failed and his allies were all possessed, with only complete destruction of the host stopping the Deadites. Bridget reveals and fatally stabs Danny. Oh, I'm sorry. Bridget revives and fatally stabs Danny, who sets Bridget on fire. Worst way to go before dying. As Elsie infiltrates the apartment using the vents, because we find out that the older guy who has the gun, who I thought was originally going to be like a horrible racist or some weird sex pervert, is not.
Oh,
He's just a guy, and I'm just
he's
like,
just a
oh
neighbor,
yeah, it's like, oh, okay, good, all
just a
right, okay,
nice neighbor. All the other guy too, the guy that they um the other neighbor that they were friends with, the one that was gonna like let him use his car. I thought he was pretty cool. I dug him.
yeah. And then there's the two younger kids who want to hang out with the older sister because they're having a Freddy Krueger marathon,
Well,
and the
which
older
one of the little kids goes, even the shitty ones, and I was like that's a true horror fan right there, like somebody
you got to
who,
watch them all, even the bad ones. So,
but but
and it,
but the one kid's like, there's no shitty ones, and I was like thinking, yeah, there's a couple, but those are still fun, they're
yeah,
not
we
the
still
greatest.
watch even the bad ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I like that the kid, he does get rejected, by the older sister, and um, I don't know. She kind of looks through the peephole and sees that he's kind of hurt, like he wants to knock again, and he doesn't. So I don't know if she's just kind of being like a jerk, or maybe she actually does like it,
she
but
likes
she's
them. She
playing
likes them.
hard to get type of
Yeah, she
thing.
was playing hard to get. That's how I kind of viewed it,
Yeah,
because
probably.
you could tell like her character actually liked the guy, but just kind of wants to you know, keep him going. You know what I mean? Like, she ain't easy. You know what I mean? Like she's making it a little harder. But it goes to like her character as like she might have also done that because they're moving, you know, and she didn't want to get attached. But none of that's explained or anything. It's not, whatever. So there's just little things that could have been the thing that I sort of took with it. They're moving, so why would she want to start hanging out with somebody she might actually like? If they're gonna like, they might have to start a long distance relationship or whatever. I don't know where she's moving to.
Yeah, that's very complicated for this. I think just yeah, playing hard to get is probably the easiest way to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
that's
But
um
you never know. I don't know I don't, maybe it was made up so you can make up your own mind. I don't know.
sure. And then it says here, realizing Beth is pregnant, Ellie attempts to rip the fetus out of her, but
Ooh, yep.
Beth and Casey are able to uh, incapacitate her, with scissors. Ellie fails. Sorry, I'm reading this without my glasses. Ellie fails to emotionally manipulate Cassie, who accepts that her mother is already gone.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that. I like that part where she finally she finally, because like fooled me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice, shame on me. And she wasn't fooled twice, She was like,
right,
the girl tries to do it again, and she's like, I know you're not my mother. And then she tries it on the sister, the aunt, and she's like, you're not gonna take them from me, are you? Right? And stuff like that, which I thought was a pretty cool, like she failed on the little girl, but she's gonna still try again, even though neither two of them, are having any of that, you know.
right. Well, yeah, and the little girl, she's not dumb, you know. She loves her mom, so she gets fooled to opening the door the first time. But like you said, fool me twice type of thing. So,
Yeah, she's not gonna
um,
be fooled again.
no. Danny and the bodies of the neighbors are possessed. Um, to manipulate Cassie. Oh yeah, mother's already gone. Okay, so Danny and the bodies of the neighbors are possessed, leading Beth and Cassie to take shelter in the damaged elevator. Ellie, Bridget, and Danny merge into a multi-limbed creature known as a marauder. I didn't actually know that they had a name for it.
I didn't know
And
that. Where did that come from?
yeah, I don't know. It just says known as a marauder. And climb atop the elevator to attack the pair as the elevator fills with blood. The combined weight causes the elevator to plummet to the ground floor, allowing Beth and Cassie to flee into the parking lot. The Marauder captures Cassie and attempts to behead her with a chainsaw, but Beth returns and distracts it. And she and Cassie destroy the Marauder's body by forcing it into a very conveniently placed wood chipper. Ellie's severed head. Most of those wood chippers and stuff are at storage facilities. They're not inside because they would take two spaces. So you
Right.
you would rent a space at a storage facility. You would park it inside a garage unless the place is being mowed down, maybe, and they just have open spaces. But I noticed that going, that wouldn't be there. Um,
By the way, real quick, just before I forget, the Marauder monster was amalgamation deadite made up of Ellie, Danny, and Bridget. That was one of the main antagonists in Evil Dead Rise. It appeared as a motion puppet in the Evil Dead Rise haunted house during Halloween Horror Nights 2023 in Hollywood.
oh, okay. So they took something from the haunted house then.
Well, yeah, well,
Okay.
no, I think no, no. So what happened was they made the movie and then they put that into Halloween Horror Nights in October. They created that for that because I guess Universal, I don't know why Universal, that's weird. Because this was like a Warner Brothers like Lionsgate project, or whatever. So that's weird. But anyway, point is that it was a thing they put into Halloween Horror Nights, was actually I think is kind of cool, that they adapted. But that's why they know it as the Marauder, because that's what they were calling. That's what they're calling it at Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
All right, there we go.
continue.
Ellie's severed head taunts Beth,
Yeah, one
saying
last
that,
time.
yeah, saying that she will fail as a mother, as their, mother failed, prompting her to kick Ellie's head into the chipper. Beth and Casey escape the building together. And then the next morning, we see Jessica, who's the possessed girl at the beginning of the movie. She goes to the parking lot to leave for her vacation, where she is attacked by an unseen force, which I'm guessing means that the Deadites could drive cars.
I don't know. I see. That's what really confused me because, like, okay, I get it. You're trying to tie it to the beginning of the movie. This is what generally happens with horror films, and you might know this anyway. Is generally speaking, you need the first 5 minutes to be scary, something that like horror. You need the first 5 to 10 minutes. Scream. There's the horror scene, and stuff like that. So the first 5 to 10 minutes needs to be sort of scary and get people like excited about the the rest of the movie. And if you have a movie like this where most of the stuff is the family stuff, that would take some time before, take about 20 minutes at least till they got to got to the horror stuff. They had to introduce the characters and blah blah blah. So they had to have the opening scene be, scary, right? And they had to make it be the basically tie with the ending of the movie. So the beginning and the ending are this, like kind of mixed up. Like, the beginning is basically the end of the movie, right? Like in a way. And the ending is like the beginning of the movie, if you think about it. See what I'm saying? Is that very
Mhm.
confusing to you or anything? Because like the opening scene is the scene where the evil deadite rises, right? And everything. Then we cut to the past. We cut to the stuff that led to the girl you know, getting attacked later at the end of the movie. So that set up for am I am I making any sense to you?
You are it's long, but yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is. It's the beginning of the movie. It's actually the end of the movie. And I mean, we
Well,
don't,
they're book yeah, it's bookend.
yeah, I guess. But yeah, they kind of, yeah, and then that's the ending of the movie with her driving is the beginning of the movie. So I thought that was kind
Right,
of cool.
but what I'm saying is Deadites know how to drive.
I guess. I don't know.
So she gets possessed by the Deadite in the garage, which means she still has to get in the car, drive to her friend's house, pick up her friend. Then there's two cars there, so I'm guessing probably like the boyfriend joined earlier, went on his own, but they still had to drive to the cabin, and the friend is already possessed as a Deadite. So I
So,
guess Deadites drive.
right, because Deadites know Wuthering Heights by heart. So if they know Wuthering Heights by heart and they know basically everything about everybody in the world, they know how to fucking drive.
And oh, and where's the other guy?
Well, I guess she was going to go pick him up, you know.
No, but there's the two girls at the beginning and the jerk guy.
Right.
Where's the guy? Where's the second guy?
I'm saying she's probably going to his house to pick him up and take him to the
Where
cabin.
is he?
I don't know. At his house, I guess. I don't know.
No, he's not at the cabin. He's not at the A-frame house. There's the two girls and the jerk guy. Where's the other guy?
There was four guys or two guys?
She says, I'm picking, yeah, she said that there's going to be two guys that meet them there, as I'm sure she will like one of them.
That's weird. Then
So the main girl who gets possessed tells the girl that she's going to pick up, the one who gets scalped, that there's going to be two guys there.
maybe that's why maybe that's why the girl was all upset the whole time. She's reading that book at the lake or whatever, and she's annoyed and everything. Maybe the Deadite killed the one guy and then went to
Well,
and picked up the other guy.
that's pretty casual. I think that's a mess up. I think that's a screw up.
I don't
But
know.
maybe there's a deleted scene where the guy didn't show up or something like that. But this is on Wikipedia, and this is interesting. This explains something about Bruce Campbell. So Bruce Campbell is featured in an uncredited voice-only cameo role, heard in a recording on one of the phonograph records from 1923. Campbell voices an unnamed character who forewarns the priests to the dangers of the demon resurrection ritual and
Hmm.
demands they destroy the book. Writer director Cronin stated that he had Campbell voice this role intentionally, stating that he considers it to be a time displaced Ash Williams.
Interesting.
So that's just not Bruce Campbell. That's Ash Williams.
That's what I thought. Like I didn't think it was Bruce.
I think it was just Bruce doing a voice cameo, just to get him in the movie.
Hmm.
So Bruce is at some point in 1923 warning people of the book. So he's already been through all this.
Yep. That's what I would imagine. Um, uh,
And so this, we're going to do my little numbers thing here. So its budget, Evil Dead Rises budget is somewhere between 15 to 19 million. Its box office was 147 million. So not bad, but not great.
um, So okay, here's another one. So the Evil Dead Rise ending opens up the possibilities of many more sequels and spin-offs as Deadites are still out in the open, moving from Ellie's residential complex to Jessica's forest getaway. The Necromonicon continues to wreak havoc. In this sense, the Deadites have spread like a zombie virus and need to be contained with the sequels. Um, with Bruce Campbell's hidden voice cameo in Evil Dead Rise, there's a possibility the actor can return as Ash in the sequels with Bess. Okay. I'm trying to find where it says about the uh about the other guy. There's four, the four guys. I'm trying to see are there two
Yeah,
guys?
because she's on her phone and she says to the friend, you know, there's like two guys coming, as I'm sure there's going to be one that you like, and then that's when the friend goes, I'm thinking of just not going, and that's when
Right.
the friend's like, oh no, you're going, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So here's something interesting: the remake of Evil Dead made less money than Evil Dead Rises. So the budget for Evil Dead is 17 million and it made 97.5 million. So Evil Dead Rises made more money.
Wow.
So that's a good thing.
I guess, I mean, we want to continue to see more Evil Dead movies. So there was that, I think, was it Red Letter Media? Because I was looking at a couple reviews, but I think it was Red Letter Media that mentioned like this could be like a Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of thing where they do a movie every 2 years or something like that Bruce Campbell mentioned. Um, and I think that would be silly. I like the idea that the Evil Dead remake came out like 2014, right? And this came out like literally almost, or was it 2013? Was it if it was 2013, these are yeah, so these are
2013 is the remake.
2000 yeah, and 2023, so 10 years later was the next one, you know. So it'd be nice if another 10 years they made another, just keep this going like that, every 10 years fucking make another Evil Dead movie. Usually they do that because of rights. They have to get oh, we're about to lose the rights, so let's make another Hellraiser movie. Yeah, even if
Right.
it sucks. This, like I said, I've never seen a bad, uh, you know, Ash vs. the Evil Dead. I watched the first two seasons, I think. I don't think I've seen the third season yet. And I haven't finished, I haven't finished the Evil Dead, but I was liking the remake a lot. Like I was really enjoying it. And so I do want to finish it. And so as I said, there's hardly a bad I mean, I don't think there is a bad Evil Dead movie yet. So David Gordon Green, stay the fuck away from it. We don't need you.
Well,
Um
and then let's quickly go over these 24 Evil Dead Easter eggs. I don't need to read anything except for the headlines. Let's see if you caught any of these. Number 24, they call it the Necronomicon, but we know it has a different name or Book of the Dead, but it is there. Um,
in its own
20,
form. Oh.
yeah. 23, the priest records demon unleashing incantations. So yeah, that's normal. Or somebody does. A
And why
familiar
is
voice.
that why is that a Easter egg?
I guess they're trying to put anything that was in Evil Dead Rises to the other movies. So if it's a person unleashing the evil dead through an incarnation. So in this one, it's a priest records that unleashes the demons through incarnation, but
Yep.
it's always spoken. Um, And then they mentioned Bruce, a familiar face on the previous recordings. I really do like that idea that it is Ash in like 2023. I really like that.
That's cool.
21 is Henrietta's Pizza Box.
Yep.
20 is Mommies with the Maggots Now, which is from one of the films. It's from The Evil Dead, I guess.
What?
Um,
I don't remember that line at all in the original Evil Dead. Was it from the first for the remake?
and so spoken to Ellie, who says Mommies I did to rephrase her additional rigid vomits of maggots. Evil Dead Rises maggots or a callback. Oh, they're talking about the maggots.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, 'cause there were maggots and whatever. So like, yeah, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why it's said like that. Mommy's with the maggots because there's maggots. Okay.
Yeah.
Beth is past the chainsaw. 18, Beth's chainsaw continues Ash's car Easter egg. We discussed that, which it does not.
I
Uh,
don't think
bl
so.
Bloody wood chipper.
What what is that?
Um,
Was that in one of the movies?
oh, I guess because it's related to the Coen brothers. It's from Fargo,
Right.
and the Coen brothers have worked with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell.
Well, they worked on Joel Cohen was the editor of Evil Dead, I think with Sam, but they edited together. And that's how Sam and them worked together, and then Sam helped Joel and Ethan make Blood Simple, you
Yeah,
know.
well, Blood Simple, yeah, because that's where they got the Sam Cam, and then also Hudsucker Proxy. I believe Sam Raimi directed the Bruce Campbell commercial,
And he was
or like
also,
the film that they're watching.
I believe Sam is in Hudsucker Proxy as well. I think he has a cameo in it.
Okay.
So
Raining Blood. That's number 16. Raining Blood. So I guess the Marauder going through the wood chipper and it's spraying blood all over Beth is kind of a callback to the ending of the remake where it's literally raining blood. Some of these are come get some.
come get some was a line, yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody to say that. That's, that's a classic.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if it would have been nice if at the end Beth goes groovy, you know? Because I was surprised they didn't call her Ashley, you know? And Ashley Williams, you know? And just her nickname was Ash and just keep it as like this is
I'm
a
glad
remake.
they did it because
I know.
I was afraid they were going to do that about with the remake, and it's just don't do that. Just make it its own thing. You could do some callbacks, but make it its own thing.
Okay. All right. That's fair, but
So that's 15. Especially if they're supposed to be connected in some sort of way, because at that time there was going to be the Evil Dead meets Evil Dead, and they were
okay.
gonna Ash
Have a
was gonna meet.
crossover.
Yeah, so if you have two Ashes, so that was 15. 14, I'll Swallow Your Soul.
Swallow your soul. Yep. I caught
That
that.
was in there. 13, Dead by Dawn.
Dead by Dawn. I was waiting for that because I was like, this is the second movie, right? Like this is Evil Dead 2 in a way, right? Like the if you look at it like Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead remake was was Evil Dead and then this was Evil Dead 2. And so I was like, oh man, I really hope they say Dead by Dawn. And they did, and I got excited. I'm sorry. When everybody's screaming it, I was screaming it. It was fun.
Uh, okay, the next one, this is something I did not realize. Number 12, Party of Five. So in Evil Dead Rises, there are five main characters.
Mm,
In Evil Dead, the remake, there are five main characters. And in The Evil Dead, there are five main characters.
okay.
So we got, it looks like they're doing a 5 thing. The Shining, that's this is number 11, The Shining
Obviously.
elevator
Oh man, we
moment.
forgot to mention that the elevator was just fucking was such a great scene and
It is
stuff. It was
filled
like
with,
filled with blood, and then I knew it was gonna open and it was gonna be shiny like, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But a nice like a little tip to the hat, you know.
yeah. Number 10, of course, the Nightmare on Elm Street marathon.
Is that a I don't know. That's not well, okay. So in the original Evil Dead, by the way, what is it? Sam Raimi had a Hills Have Eyes poster
Yes.
in the movie, and it was torn, right? Because they're trying to say that Evil Dead was the bigger movie or whatever, like the scarier movie than the Hills Have Eyes, and and that was actually a reference because I think it was Hills Have Eyes or one of them actually had a uh poster of like another horror film, Jaws, I think it was. It was torn, you know. And so like the idea was to keep it going, and I guess nobody else caught on to that or did that or whatever. But
Well,
I want to do that.
well, if you watch, so Sam and Wes became friends. So I believe it's Shocker is when they go down into the basement. There is an Evil Dead poster.
But was it ripped?
I don't know if it was ripped or not. I don't. I haven't seen Shocker in a long time, but there is a poster for the Evil Dead. It might be ripped because it's in a basement.
That would be my guess because that was the idea. It's like every time it's ripped or whatever, they're trying to say that this was a better, scarier movie than that last one or whatever. My brother and I tried watching Shocker once, and what a shocker. We couldn't even get through it, you know.
It's not a good movie. I
It's
know a lot of people like it, but it's not a good movie.
we watched like maybe 30 minutes of it and we were bored. And we're like, this is the slowest Wes Craven movie we've ever seen. Now, I have not seen Serpent and the Rainbow, which I've heard really good things about. And
It
I
is
have
good.
heard a lot of people say good things about Shocker. A lot of people love it. But I just couldn't get into it. So I'm gonna try to do it for one of the podcasts. I don't know if it's an 80s horror film or a 90s horror film. So for one of those 80s or 90s, I think it's 80s, if I'm correct. But I'm gonna try to do it for one of those podcasts. So I can sit down, actually watch the whole thing, and say I've seen it, and I can actually give a critique of it and be honest, because if I still find it slow or something, I will let people know, you know.
Well, there you go. Number 9, Swallowing an Eye.
I don't remember that from any of the movies.
Swallowing the eyeball.
Was that from was that from Evil Dead 1?
You don't remember them swallowing the eyeball? In part 2, when Bruce Campbell puts his foot on the Deadite's head, the eyeball pops out and shoots across the room and goes into the hot girl's mouth.
I don't remember that.
Oh my
But
God. And then they did the same thing here, but it wasn't as effective. The guy who gets his eyeball sucked out, the Ellie then spits it and it goes into one of the younger kids' mouths.
yeah,
How can you not
I
remember
saw
that?
that.
It's like, yeah, it's like one of the most famous scenes from part 2.
I have not seen Part 2 in forever. I have seen it. I used to own it on I think I still do on DVD, but I need to get it on 4K at some point if it's on 4K.
Okay. Number 8, Flying Demons Point of View. So that's in everyone. Ellie is tied up by the demons, so this is referring to the elevator scene. So we talked about that.
Hmm.
Evil number 6, Evil Dead Rises opening cabin scene.
I
I
guess
guess because
there's
it takes place in a cabin.
it's a cabin on a
Uh,
lake instead of a cabin in the middle of nowhere, you know. I I
yeah,
mean,
it just says young characters being attacked by a deadite friend at a cabin. So that's their comparison, I guess.
yeah.
Number 5, Deadites reading without seeing. So you got your Wuthering Heights there.
Hmm.
Deadite infest sibling reunions.
What?
Deadite infested sibling reunions.
Oh, I guess the first movie had two, like the Ash was
Ash
related
had
to
a
one
sister. Yeah.
sister, yeah. But I guess that's the only comparison to it. And I think I think you said earlier that some of these were like a stretch, to make it like top 24 or whatever, but they're not really, I mean, like I don't know, to me they're not Easter eggs, they're just there, you know.
Yeah. Number three is mother problems. It says here that Ash's mother notably left his family before the events of the Evil Dead.
Right.
Henrietta's mother, or Anne's mother, Henrietta, is one of the first. So there's that. So yeah, I guess they have mother issues. Um, Deadites love creepy songs. They do like to
Mm.
sing. That is true. That's number two.
And that was like a nursery rhyme that was like sort of like Hush Little Baby,
Yeah.
And it was interesting, but it didn't rhyme or anything. It was like I was like, wait, that doesn't rhyme. It seems like just words.
Well, it's I guess it'd be more of like well, it says creepy songs. It doesn't say
Right.
that it rhymes. It just says Deadites love creepy songs. And then number one, fly buzzing.
I guess the fly buzzing in the beginning of the movie with the drone.
Um, I would think it's the fly that goes on to Elle's face when they think that
Oh,
she's
that's right.
dead.
Yeah. And then it goes into the
Um,
eyeball or something or whatever, right? Like it goes,
yeah.
ugh, it's a creepy scene.
Well, it says a clever nod to Sam Raimi is included in Evil Dead Rise through the frequent use of a fly buzzing. Raimi included sound gag in all of his Evil Dead movies, which Cronin continued the trend throughout the film and in Evil Dead Rise's audio credits stinger. The buzzing noise occurs more than expected in the Evil Dead franchise, but once it's heard, it's almost impossible to unhear. So I guess there's just sounds of flies throughout the movie. So it's not a fly, but just fly sounds.
Okay.
And that's all of them.
All right. Well,
So I mean, it looks like the director did some research and wanted to get Easter eggs and nods and fan service and stuff. He just did it in different ways.
they tried, which is good. I didn't mind it. I liked it.
Yeah, I
Um,
really like the movie. I'd be very curious to see what a part three would be.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll. I mean, they made enough money. They should be able to do it, but I mean, they'll find like I liked what Red Letter Media said, where if they're gonna do this as like sort of a cinematic universe kind of thing at all, they should have sort of a map planned out and ideas of whatever because it just sort of does feel like Halloween where they're just like, okay, let's just make another movie and then it and then have it be another director, that does it, and everything. And it just sort of doesn't.
I I don't know. I think the Halloween and the Disney sequels, I think, are a good comparison because they obviously did not have an idea of what they were going to do. There was no outline drawn
Yeah,
out.
no Star Wars, like
But
I had no
with
idea.
Yeah, but with Evil Dead, I don't think you really need one. I mean, you just need to come up with a new idea every couple of years, 2 to 3 years. Oh, the next one takes place on a boat. You know, the next one takes place, I don't know, simply, in space. I don't know. You just
Oh
need
my
to come up with
God.
a good
Yeah,
idea.
was it Evil Dead Cruise? I love that actually. All right, Sam Raimi, you got your next idea. Go make it.
Yeah, Evil Dead Cruise. Yeah.
And I'd watch that in a second. Like somebody somehow or whatever, the Necronomicon is on the, is in the boat or whatever. Maybe it's underneath.
It's a professor or a priest who brings the book with him, and some maybe like a rival gets the book and reads from the book, and then you have all these cool Evil Dead shots going down the hallways of the ship.
There you go. We're
And the
writing the
boat and the
movie.
boat basically become is the cabin.
Yeah.
They can't really do anything. Is if you jump off the boat, you'll die. You just drowned at sea. So you make it like a cruise liner.
I always thought they should, and I think we've talked about this before, but I think they should have made and maybe you've also thought about this too, but a Final Destination on a cruise, you know?
I mentioned that in one of our podcasts that I was really surprised that they haven't done one that's on like I think it's like a high school graduation party that's on the ship.
Hmm.
And like the guy's in like the mid he like he's dancing with his girlfriend or something, and then everything happens. And he's like, "We got to get off the ship. We got to get off the ship."
That'll just be so ghost ship though. Like people start to dying, or whatever. They gotta
Well,
outdo
remember,
ghost ship.
it's if you go off the original film, it's just a plane blowing up.
Right.
It's later where all the stuff happens. But it's if you
Well, it's
just
the
want to have
plane
the
blowing up, but like you find out it's the more of the mechanics of where everybody is on the plane, right? All the seats and
well, that's
everything.
who's gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
the
you'd have
actual
to do
thing
that
would be like if it was a ship, it would just be the ship blowing up.
or
We got to
something,
get off the
something
ship, and then the
happening.
ship blows up. You make it very
And then,
simple, just boom,
but then you
and
see
then
each person die. Yeah. So,
yeah, and then they could get the manifest or whatever it is, or the passenger list of each cabin, and on those cabins, that's how the person's going to die is from
and
each
then,
cabin.
and then what is it? One guy's like, you got to get everybody off the ship. You got to get everybody off the
That's
ship.
our main guy at the dance.
Yeah.
That's he's dancing with his girlfriend, and and I was or no, he doesn't go because that wouldn't happen yet. But yeah, everything all of a sudden just blows up, and then it comes right back to him. He's like, "Oh fuck, we got to get off the ship."
Yeah.
And he's trying to get off the ship, but like teachers are trying to stop him, or security guards are trying to stop him, and of
And
course they
we've
drag a
interviewed
teacher out,
Jeff.
and
Maybe we can pitch
yeah,
something. I don't
there
know.
you go.
You know,
Don't
get some
steal my
story
idea.
credits or something.
Don't steal
Yeah.
my idea.
Who, me?
No, anybody out there, don't steal my
Um,
idea. I know they're making another one, so don't steal my idea.
I think it's already in the works and stuff. So they've got an idea. Maybe they were already doing it. Many times when I've come up with ideas, somebody's already in the midst of making it at the time, or it's already coming out, and I didn't even realize. Like I have the same idea as somebody that's just somehow the ideas just flow to us, and stuff. So anyway.
I mean, you can do Final Destination meets Die Hard.
So you could do Evil Dead Cruise or you could do Final Destination Cruise. Whichever one works, kind of cruise ship kind of thing. I don't know. It would be
I I,
fun.
I like Evil Dead Cruise, but then I like Final Destination Die Hard, where they're in a building and the guy in the building collapses as they're going down, like as they're running to get out of the building, and of course they get out and it goes right back, and the guy's like, "We got to get out of the building because it's going to collapse." What are you talking about? It's state of the art.
What is that? What's that movie? There was a movie, Towering Inferno, you know,
Yeah,
where
see, you could just steal from Aaron Allen and just take
they
all his movies. So they already did the airplane,
already did the airplane, they
so they
did
could do Towering.
Earthquake.
Yeah, they could
uh,
do. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they could do many things. So
Well,
there you go.
Earthquake, Final Destination. That's interesting. We already had the earthquake with Evil Dead, which is pretty neat. I mean, like you said, that they're LA people, so they should know like how to deal with an earthquake, or whatever and stuff. But
I was in the North Ridge earthquake, which was one of the bigger ones, and my bed was on wheels, and I just had just like a solid floor, it wasn't carpet. And when the earthquake hit, my bed was rolling around. And I actually thought my roommate was screwing with me and like pushing my bed around. And I woke up and it wasn't. It was an earthquake. And you just get used to earthquakes living in LA. They suck,
I
but you
had
get used
one
to them.
earthquake in LA. Well, oh no, two. One I never realized was an earthquake, but like it was when I was living in Van Nuys. There was an earthquake, but it was kind of small. So like, I just thought that the people next door were just like kind of having sex too loud or something because I was like the was it
The
the
way you're describing it looks like convulsions. They were just
yeah,
having
that was kind of like this,
convulsions.
whatever. And the whole what is it, the side of the room was shaking a little bit, but I didn't realize that that was an earthquake. And I came outside and I said, "Did you guys feel that?" And my roommate and her it wasn't Jackie, it was my roommate Lila at the time, and her friend were like, "No." Like what? And I showed them that there was an earthquake and stuff. So they're like, oh, wow. And didn't even realize it. Then I came to live in San Gabriel with Jackie. And when we were living there, she was with her boyfriend at the time. And they were in their room. I was in my room watching television, and we could feel it shake. Like we knew that there was an earthquake and everything. That was a bigger one. And we were just like, holy shit. We like she had never had an earth like she had been through earthquakes that she never felt before, right? Just like me. And this was a big thing. So I was like, shit. It was I I kind of made like a comment on Facebook that I was happy to I was happy to go through one of those because that's kind of what you would expect in LA, right? And people were like got on me about that because how dangerous. And I guess was it Northridge that was the biggest earthquake or whatever? One of the biggest
It's
earthquakes.
one of the biggest ones. Yeah, that's the one that I was in. Yeah.
Was there one in somewhere else that was that in the valley?
Well,
Northridge?
Northridge is in it. It's in LA. I don't think it's in the valley, no, because we really felt it. So it was, but a lot of buildings collapsed, and I remember there was an article that Roger Corman went out and shot a whole bunch of footage.
Hmm.
That's where he made the movie Quake with Stephen Railsback because of that, and he
Oh,
used it in other movies. But the earthquake was so bad that he sent people out to shoot like B-roll footage so he could use it later.
oh. So anyway, yeah, so that was intense. But yeah, if I had pizza in my hand, I don't know what I would have done. 'Cause I was new to LA. Probably would have
Just
been
gotta
like,
balance it. Just gonna
yeah.
save that pizza, man.
Well, in this movie, the whole it was so bad that the ground cracked and stuff. So I guess I mean I that's not what happened to my, town or whatever. There's no cracked ground, but like I guess earthquakes can do that.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah,
bad
yeah.
enough.
Oh yeah, they
Open up.
fuck up streets all the time. Yeah,
Yeah. So
gas
anyway,
mains and all that type of stuff.
yeah. But
Sewers.
anyway, it was it was intense and I'm glad I'm survived it, but I don't know. I want to move back there, so and I don't care that there's earthquakes or whatever. Like, if I'm gonna die from an earthquake, I'm gonna die from an earthquake. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not my time to come, that's it. But I'm I want to live there because that's Hollywood. Like I want to be in Hollywood. Um anyway, point is, so there was an interesting earthquake here. And I think Final Destination could do an earthquake one, you know. Like, oh my God, there's going to be an earthquake. And everybody's like, yeah, 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 whatever. It's like, get everybody out, in this area, right? And then there's an earthquake and it kills. Actually, there's an Eli Roth movie like that, Aftershock. You ever seen that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, pretty good. And he didn't direct it, he produced it, but he is pretty good. And he starred in it, which was pretty neat and chilly. Um,
Yeah,
so
it was okay.
I liked it. So if you guys want to check that out, it used to be on Tubi. I don't think it's on Tubi anymore. But it might be. Don't quote me on that. Anywho, I think that's about it. I mean, the only other thing I wanted to mention that didn't have anything to do with
Pardon
the
me.
actual, like, the movie plot and stuff was that, do you remember that there was like a YouTube thing with a screening of Evil Dead Rise, and they were going to do a Q&A with like Rob Tappert, Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and a bunch of the stars of Evil Dead Rise. And somebody like I guess they were drunk or something, and they started heckling and saying that movie sucked, whatever. And then
Oh
they,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Bruce Campbell told him to go fuck himself.
yeah, told him to go fuck himself, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And I don't know why. I thought because I mean everybody seemed to really enjoy the movie when they finished watching it or whatever. They're gonna do a Q&A. And people are kind of joking about like why would you like even do that? You know? Like why would you make a big deal if you didn't like it? Just fucking leave, you know? Like or why did you even stay if you didn't enjoy it? You know? Um, but I think the guy was just drunk and an asshole, and he got kicked out of I think it was South by Southwest or something, screening. So, you're gonna pay that much money and then you're gonna complain, you know?
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, I remember watching the video for that. Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that yeah, Bruce Kidd was like, "Go fuck yourself," you know? Like he does not bullshit. I remember seeing some friends interviewed him, some former friends of mine interviewed him, and he was a complete ass, you know? Like he was very straight up and honest, but he was his jackassy self. And not that he's a bad person or anything. I think he just gets interviews all the time that people don't do enough research on him and they ask stupid questions, you know? He will call you out on that shit, you know? So good for you, Bruce, you know? Don't stop being who you are.
Don't stop being Bruce.
Don't stop being Bruce, because you're very groovy, baby.
That
All
that
right.
should be the name of his next book.
Being
Don't don't stop being Bruce,
stop being Bruce. Well, you did a movie called My Name is Bruce.
which was not good.
It was not my favorite. No, it should have been better. But I think they made up for that with Ash versus the Evil Dead because I think it had sort of the same tone that that one did. Because that one's supposed to be Bruce Campbell fighting whatever, and stuff. And then the TV show was about Ash coming back, you know. So people love Ash, you know. Um,
They do, which is
so
why they get mad. I think that he's not in these new ones, like he should be. But
so if you were to rate this, what would you give it out of 5 stars?
4,
4 stars?
yeah,
I give it 4 stars too. Like I think it wasn't the best Evil Dead movie. To me, honestly, Evil Dead 1 is like one of my favorite films of all time. You know, it's up there. In fact, when people ask me what my favorite horror film is, I tell them I have two favorites. One is Evil Dead as being like one of the movies that scared me as a child, so it, like terrified me, you know, especially listening to it on surround sound. It's very creepy. It's got, uh so I say that and then I also say Scream because that's the movie that got me back into horror films. So,
okay,
you know, but the Evil Dead is my favorite movie. I need to rewatch Evil Dead 2 because everybody always says Evil Dead 2 is better than Evil Dead 1.
it is.
Um
Hmm.
and so I need to rewatch it because so I can kind of make that thing. And then some people like Army of Darkness better than all of them, And
It
so
is not.
it isn't. It's goofy and it's silly and it's fun, but it's not like my favorite. I've seen that movie like 3 times and I've liked it, but
No, it's great for me. The Evil Dead is a little too slow for me. I think it's a great movie, but if I had the choice, I would go Evil Dead 2. Um, so if I had to rate them, I would probably actually say Evil Dead 2, then Army of Darkness, then the Evil Dead. It's just so slow. It just takes forever. I know it's a slow burn movie, but oh my
oh, so
God.
you said Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, then Evil Dead 1?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I need to rewatch them so that I can kind of choose. Maybe we'll go backwards and we'll review the Evil Dead remake, and then Army of Darkness, and then Evil Dead 2, and then Evil Dead 1 at some point if you want to do that.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. We're coming up with ideas for this show, okay? We gotta get we gotta get shit going with that. But I think the next one of the next reviews, I think, do we have anything? We've got some mainstream Mondays planned. And we've got this as a horror film lovers reviews. Do we have anything else planned for this?
Mm,
I don't
you
think so.
you kind of gave the schedule here. I don't want to bore people, but uh we have
It won't bore people because people will probably not be at this point, but they're watching this thing.
so like we're supposed to be doing, yeah, like Insidious, 4, we're supposed to be The Nun 2. Those are the only ones I have listed for the future.
Okay. We'll figure out when to do I guess the hole in the ground, and then or maybe we'll do that after we do all the Evil Dead movies. I don't know. Which one would you rather do? Just do concentrate on all the Evil Dead movies?
I mean, we could do the Evil Dead stuff and then focus on directors of those movies, like Don't Breathe 1 and 2, and then, stuff like that.
Okay, let's do that. So
We
let's get
kind of
all
like
of
what we
them.
did with Conjuring, stuff.
Yeah, so let's get the Evil Dead stuff done, and then
Why are you cold?
it's kind of funny. We're going to mainstream Monday territory, but doing it for horror film lovers reviews. But fuck it, I don't care because so people understand. Like John and I will be doing this like once or twice a month for this one. We'll also be doing mainstream Monday, so you'll get mainstream Monday right now is focusing mainly on it's James Wan stuff, and centered things and everything. Then we're gonna after we're finished with that, who knows what we'll do next for that. But I think that's gonna finish up the whole season for this next season. But then we're also gonna be doing what is it? The Evil Dead movies right now for horror film lovers reviews. So
Yeah, we have like
get ready for that.
Saw coming up, all that type of stuff.
I'll also be doing ones on my own for horror film lovers reviews as well. So you'll get some mixtures of other things, but just get ready. You'll see lots of different things.
And don't forget, Reviews After Midnight is back. First one coming out this Saturday.
Well, yeah, baby, but it'll actually be already passed because this comes out on Wednesday.
Oh,
Wednesday after, yeah. So there you go.
hey, don't forget,
To
Reviews
go
After
with
Midnight coming out Wednesday, baby.
no, 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 no. Reviews after midnight is on Saturday. This one right here is going to be on Wednesday. So you have to say, "Oh, don't forget to go watch the reviews after midnight that's already out."
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Hey people, don't forget, go watch my video that's already out, Reviews After Midnight. It came out last Saturday. I review the movie Shakedown, the James Glickenhaus film
Yes, there you
with Sam
go.
Elliott and Peter Weller.
Yes. So there you go. I have not listened to it
Glad
yet.
I
I
got
kind
that
of want
straight.
to. I can't wait to check it out. So there you go.
I love James Glickenhaus, man. He's such he's now really into race cars. He's not directing anymore. He's more of a race car enthusiast, but guy has made some great grindhouse, like action movies. I mean, you and Paul should check him out. You probably like him.
Probably. We just reviewed a Fred Williamson movie for Patreon only. What was it called? It's one with Gary Busey and Peter Fonda. Um, fuck. Oh my God, why is my brain not working right now?
Bulletproof, I'm hoping.
No,
Bulletproof.
no.
That's the great one where he calls everybody a butthorn. That's his big thing. Hey, butthorn. I think it's butthorn. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen it in a long
That
time.
is hilarious. Um, no, it was shit. Um, now, yep. See, this is why people aren't watching it this far out. Um, good God, Fred Williamson's made a lot of movies. I think it was 80 something. It's 80 or 90s. Maybe 90s.
So let's see if Jonathan can find this before I wrap this up. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We had a great time tonight. We
South
really
Beach.
What
South
is it?
South Beach.
South Beach. Okay.
It's got, yeah, it was on Tubi. It's got Fred Williamson, Peter Fonda, Gary Busey, Robert Forster, Vanity, Isabel Sanford, Sam Jones, the
God, talk about a
yeah,
mismatched cast.
Stella Stevens. Oh God, speaking of mishmash cast, Stella Stevens is so weird. Such a random thing. And Henry Silva. So I was
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, it's an all-star.
Henry Silva, who I think was in Bulletproof with Gary Busey.
Well, there you go.
I think. So, all
So,
right.
all right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us and hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you guys think, if you guys even stayed till the end. And if you stayed to the end, please comment. We stayed to the end because we like to
Yeah,
know.
and please let us know if you want us to review Spider-Man 2. We loved reviewing Spider-Man 1 on this episode, so just let us know if you want to review Spider-Man 2 and maybe 3. There you go.
Maybe three.
Maybe
Why
3.
why not just keep going with all of the Spider-Man movies then? Because you don't want to.
I mean, we could. Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character.
Oh, well, there you go. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.